Desire of Ages, chapter 20, Except ye see signs and wonders. When Jesus Christ returned to Galilee, the people brought with them reports of his mighty works at Jerusalem. But the people of Nazareth did not believe on him. For this reason, Jesus did not visit Nazareth on his way to Cana. He declared that a prophet has no honor in his own country. At Cana, the news of his coming spread quickly, reaching even Capernaum, where a nobleman of the king's court had a son suffering from what seemed to be an incurable disease. When the father heard of Jesus, he determined to seek help from him. Though his child might die before he returned, he pressed on, hoping that a father's plea would move the great physician. Finding Jesus surrounded by a multitude, he made his request and urged him to come down and heal his son. But as he looked upon the plain, dusty, and travel-worn teacher, his faith faltered. Seeing this, Jesus said, "Except ye see signs and wonders, ye will not believe." These words revealed the true condition of his heart. Like many, he sought Christ for a temporal blessing, not understanding his deeper need. He saw that his faith was uncertain, and in deep distress he feared that his doubt might cost his child's life. In anguish he cried, "Sir, come down ere my child die." His faith, though weak, clung to Christ, as Jacob once wrestled with the angel, saying, "I will not let thee go except thou bless me." Genesis 32:26. Jesus did not go with him. Instead, he spoke a simple word, "Go thy way, thy son liveth." At that word, the man believed. He did not wait for proof, but accepted the promise and went his way in peace. At that same hour in Capernaum, a sudden change came over the child. The fever left him, strength returned, and he sank into quiet sleep. Those watching were amazed. The shadow of death had passed. The next day, as the father journeyed home, his servants met him with the joyful news. He shows no surprise at the news they bring, but with a depth of interest they cannot know, he asks at what hour the child began to mend. They answer, "Yesterday at the 7th hour the fever left him." At the very moment when the father's faith grasped the assurance, "Thy son liveth," divine love touched the dying child. His sorrow was turned into joy. He clasped his restored son and gave thanks to God again and again. Not only did he believe, but his whole household also received Christ. The nobleman had a degree of faith, but Christ had a greater gift to bestow. The healing of the child was not the greatest blessing, it was the salvation brought to that home. Yet it teaches a lesson for all. Many come to God seeking earthly benefits and base their faith upon the answers they receive. But the Savior desires to give something far greater, the grace that transforms the heart. The nobleman had wanted to see before he believed, but he was led to trust the word of Christ alone. So it must be with us, not because we see or feel are we to believe, but because God has spoken. When we come to him in faith, every petition enters his heart. Often the answer is delayed, not because he does not hear, but because he desires to reveal our need and draw us closer to himself. He would lead us to renounce selfishness and trust wholly in his love. When we have asked for his blessing, we should believe that we receive it and thank him that we have received it. Then we go forward in faith, assured that the answer will come at the time of greatest need. As it is written, God is able to do exceeding abundantly above all that we ask or think. Ephesians 3:20. This chapter is based on John 4:43-54.